Hi everyone, I'm Rob Ladd. Thanks for tuning in for this edition of the Cavalier Sports Report. Last weekend, the ladies softball team claimed the Region 6 tournament title the hard way by avenging a semifinal loss with back-to-back wins against Labette County Community College. I'm joined now by head coach Kelly Latendresse. Coach Kelly, thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's start off at the beginning with your game against Coffeyville. It was a 5-inning, 13-3 victory, and I think a pretty good game for you guys.
Yeah, we started off, all right in that game. I think in that game they actually went ahead of us by 3 runs, so it was 3-0 for a couple innings. Coffeyville was ahead, but the girls kind of got the bats going and scored some runs, and we had a walk-off grand slam by Kim Smith to end the ball game. So yeah, we finished up nicely.
And Kim is, her big bat has been going, I think, 4 home runs in her last 5 games, and you're going to need her production as you head into the postseason. But the game right after that against Labette, you guys kind of got caught looking, and I know things did not go the way you were hoping.
No, Labette came out on fire, and they're a good team. They were the one team going into regionals that I was concerned about on our side of the bracket. They came out that morning just ready to go. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They were firing on all cylinders. Their pitcher was hitting her spots. She was keeping us from consistently hitting the ball. We were hitting the ball hard. We just weren't putting the hits together. And their batters were hitting. We made some errors in that ball game that cost us some runs. We had some base running errors that cost us from scoring runs. So it just didn't go our way. But we finished that ball game up, and Labette was, in my opinion, a little too excited. They played their best ball game of the day that morning, and when we finished, they kind of finished like they just won the Region 6 title. And I told my kids, this isn't over. They do have to come back and play again, and they need to make sure that they're ready for that. Labette needed to, and we needed to, and we did, and Labette didn't. So.
You bounce back with a 5-4 victory over Neosho County, and then you get a chance to play Labette again. In fact, you get a chance to play them twice, and you bounce back in both of those games.
Right.
What did you tell your team before going in against the first game against Labette?
I told them kind of the roles are reversed. When we played the first game at 10 in the morning against Labette, it was kind of Labette was the underdog. We were the high seed. They were the low seed. They kind of had nothing to lose at that point. When we came back, roles were reversed. We were the ones who had nothing to lose at that point, and they had everything to lose. So, I told the girls just go out, take it one pitch at a time, and just go that way at it, and we'll see what happens. And they did, and we won. So we forced that if game.
Well, let's talk a little bit, I guess, in-depthly about those games, because they were both pretty close. Labette, as you mentioned, is a good team, and they were not going to go away, but you still get home runs in both games from Kim Smith, and I think just kind of a good all-around performance by your program.
Yeah. We came out, like I said, we told the girls it's one pitch at a time, and we also told them, it's going to be a dogfight. It is going to be whoever can make the least amount of errors and whoever wants it more. And Labette, they were in the third base dugout, so when we were on offense, I had to stand on their side of the field. Their stands were full. They have like 25 kids on that team. So they have a full team in the dugout when they are on defense. So it was loud, but you could also tell that they rolled with their momentum. So if they scored, they were loud. If they didn't, they weren't. And the things that my kids did was just stay consistent the entire game. The first game, we came out and scored first. They answered back, and it was kind of back and forth for a little while, and then we spread it out there at the end, and I think that one was 11-5 or 11-6. And Lacey performed well. She threw every game this weekend. I think she threw like 480 some odd pitches this weekend. So the first game, they did well, opened it up. Labette ended the game on a base running error. They flied out to right field. They had a runner on one, and my right fielder took a look at that girl on one, and I didn't think that Tara was going to throw it to one, and she threw it and doubled the kid off and ended the ball game. And I remember sitting on my bucket going, oh my gosh, she's out, like that's it, game over. We're going into the if game. So it was a good first game for them.
And you also got a big-time performance by, I think, in many ways, an unsung hero on your team, and that's Megan Phipps. You mentioned to me that she kind of changed the game when you inserted her into the lineup. Talk a little bit about Megan.
Right. Megan hasn't played. She didn't play the second game against Independence. She didn't play against Coffeyville, and she did not play against Labette in the 10 o'clock game. And Leanne Pringle was playing because Megan hadn't been hitting, and I can't have people not hitting in the lineup. And Leanne was. So we had Leanne in left field, and then Leanne kind of struggled in the Neosho game. And so I pulled her and put Megan in because we needed kids at that time who wanted to be in there, who were going to have the desire to win no matter what the situation was. And I felt like Megan had that, so I put her in left field. She finished up the Neosho game. She played in the first Labette game, and she played in the second Labette game. Megan did not hit. I mean, she went 0 for the weekend. But she contributed in the fact that she shut them down in a big spot in that second championship game. The top of the 7th, we went ahead by 1 on a ground ball by Kim Smith to score Tara Wolf, made the score 7-6. We go into the bottom of the 7th, and this is where the girls and I don't quite agree, so we need to go back and look at the book. But the way I see it, and it doesn't really matter either way, but we had a ground ball out to get the first out in the inning. I feel like the second out was the out that Megan made, and there was no runners on. The girls feel like there was a runner on. No matter what, this kid that hit that ball to left field to get the second out, she had hit a home run earlier in the game to tie the game up. And then she came up and just hammered a ball into left field. And I just remember sitting on my bucket. I cannot say on camera right now what I said when I was sitting on my bucket, but Megan just put her back to the field and ran, and that kid made an amazing catch. She caught it and then hit the fence. It would have been a double if that ball would have dropped, and we would have lost, because that would have let them have enough momentum to keep them rolling. After that catch, in my opinion, the next kid up hit a ground ball into left center, and that would have scored that girl if Megan wouldn't have caught that ball. And then we ended up getting the last out on a fly ball to second base. So, yeah, I mean, it was a rally killer for them. If Megan wouldn't have caught that ball, we would not have won that ball game. So, yeah, it was big.
That's a big-time performance by Megan, and I know you're going to look for more of that as you guys advance into the deep into the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Coach Kelly, thanks for being with us again this morning, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Cavalier Sports Report. For Coach Kelly Latendresse, I'm Rob Ladd. We'll see you next time.